Right now, America has 11 aircraft carriers. China has 3. India? Just 2. So how could India possibly defeat both superpowers in a conflict? The answer isn't in numbers. It's in weapons so advanced, even Pentagon analysts are losing sleep. And weapon number 1 on this list can strike before the enemy even knows they're under attack. But before we dive in, if you're new here, hit the subscribe button and leave a comment. I subscribe. And I'll personally welcome you into the family. With that said, let's get started. Let's start with number 6. Weapon number 6, the BrahMos missile. Imagine a missile traveling at Mach 3, that's 3,600 kilometers per hour, 3 times the speed of sound. From the moment you detect it to impact? 28 seconds. That's barely enough time to blink. In 2022, during a routine naval exercise, Commander Rajesh Kumar stood on the deck of INS Kolkata and watched this missile obliterate a decommissioned ship 290 kilometers away. The entire engagement, from launch to impact, took under 5 minutes. He later told reporters, "I've never seen anything move that fast and stay that accurate." According to a 2023 RAND Corporation analysis, the BrahMos has a 95% hit probability, higher than any Western cruise missile equivalent. But here's why it defeats American defenses. The Aegis combat system, America's pride and joy, was designed to intercept missiles traveling at Mach 2 or slower. The BrahMos moves so fast, interception becomes mathematically improbable. Picture this. The missile schemes just 10 meters above ocean waves, hugging the surface to stay invisible to radar. By the time it pops up for the final strike, you have 8 seconds. 8 seconds. But here's what's truly terrifying. India just tested a hypersonic version in 2024. Mach 5. That's 6,125 kilometers per hour. At that speed, enemy ships don't have time to react, coordinate, or pray. But a fast missile means nothing if you can't see where to aim it. That's where weapon number 5 changes everything. Weapon number 5, the RISAT-2 spy satellite network. What if I told you India can watch every military base in China and America, day or night, through clouds, through storms, even through complete darkness? Let me take you back to June 2020. The Galwan Valley clash. Tensions between India and China reached a boiling point. Wing Commander Priya Malhotra was on duty at the Satellite Monitoring Center when her screen lit up. It was 2 a.m. Zero visibility on the ground. Heavy cloud cover. But RISAT-2's radar cut through it all like an X-ray through skin. She watched 300 Chinese soldiers moving into contested territory, 12 hours before American optical satellites caught on. Those 12 hours allowed Indian commanders to reposition troops and prevent a larger massacre. A 2021 MIT Technology Review study confirmed what military insiders already knew. RISAT's synthetic aperture radar achieves 1-meter resolution. That means they can see individual vehicles, tent formations, even large weapon systems. Here's why it defeats superpowers. American satellites rely heavily on optical imaging, cameras in space. Useless at night. Useless in bad weather. China's satellite network? Same limitations. But RISAT uses radar imaging. It doesn't need light. It doesn't care about clouds. Think of it like this. America has sharper eyes during the day. But India never blinks. And India isn't just watching, they're sharing this intelligence with allied nations, creating an intelligence web that China can't penetrate and America can't ignore. But here's the problem with satellites. They can be shot down. China and America both have anti-satellite weapons. Weapon number 4 is something you can't destroy because you can't find it. Weapon number 4, INS Arihant nuclear submarine. Right now, somewhere in the Indian Ocean, there's a submarine carrying nuclear missiles. Neither America nor China knows where it is. And that's the entire point. Captain Anil Varma spent 92 days underwater in 2023. No sunlight, no fresh air, total radio silence. Imagine living in a steel tube 100 meters below the surface, where the only sound is the endless hum of nuclear reactors and the occasional creak of pressure on the hull. His mission wasn't to attack anyone. It was to ensure India's nuclear retaliation capability even if the entire country is destroyed above water. According to Jane's Defense Weekly 2024 analysis, the Arihant-class submarine can stay submerged for 3 months straight, carrying 12 K-4 ballistic missiles with a 3,500-kilometer range. That's enough to hit targets in Beijing, Islamabad, or the Persian Gulf without ever surfacing. Here's why it defeats superpowers. American Ohio-class submarines are bigger, sure. More powerful, absolutely. But they're also noisier. The Arihant uses a combination of Russian and indigenous stealth technology that reduces its acoustic signature by 40% compared to earlier models. And here's the crazy part. Building this submarine took India 40 years. America achieved similar tech in the 1950s. But India's version is quieter than anything America built until the 1990s. They learned from everyone else's mistakes. But nuclear submarines have one critical weakness. They're useless against swarm attacks. Thousands of cheap drones or small boats overwhelming defenses. Which is exactly what weapon number 3 was designed to counter. Weapon number 3, DRDO Anti-Drone Swarm Defense System. In 2023, Ukrainian forces destroyed Russian tanks worth $2 million using $500 commercial drones. The Pentagon called it the future of warfare. And they were terrified. Dr. Kavita Singh, a DRDO engineer, watched the Ukraine war with growing horror. She told her team, "We have 6 months to solve this before China deploys 10,000 drones at our border." By December 2023, they had it, a directed energy weapon that can fry 50 drones simultaneously using high-powered microwaves. A 2024 IEEE study confirmed the system's capabilities. It uses concentrated microwave beams to disable electronics at a 2-kilometer range, with a 98% success rate in field testing. The drones don't explode. They just stop. Electronics fried. They drop from the sky like dead birds. Here's why it defeats superpowers. American Patriot missiles cost $3 million each. Shooting down a $1,000 drone with a $3 million missile is economic suicide. India's system? Costs pennies per shot in electricity. You could fire it 10,000 times for less than one Patriot missile. Think about it. China could send 10,000 cheap drones at Indian positions. America would go bankrupt trying to stop them with traditional missiles. India just presses a button and the entire swarm falls. And here's what they're not telling you. The system isn't just for drones. It can also target incoming cruise missiles. The technology doesn't care what's flying toward it. If it has electronics, it dies. If you've ever wondered why America hasn't decisively won a war since 1991, asymmetric warfare is the answer. Cheap weapons overwhelming expensive defenses. India just beat that problem. But frying electronics is one thing. Weapon number 2 makes $100 million fighter jets fall from the sky like toys. Weapon number 2, S-400 Air Defense System. This weapon is so powerful, America threatened to sanction India just for buying it. In 2018, when India signed a $5.4 billion deal with Russia for the S-400 Triumph system, Pentagon officials personally called Prime Minister Modi. The message was crystal clear. Buy this and we cut military ties. Modi bought it anyway. But because it makes India's airspace a no-fly zone. According to a 2023 Congressional Research Service report, the S-400 can simultaneously track 300 targets and engage 36 of them at once, at ranges up to 400 kilometers. That's farther than most fighter jets can even see. But here's the real reason America panicked. The S-400's radar uses multiple frequencies that can detect stealth aircraft. American F-35 fighters, the cornerstone of U.S. air superiority, are designed to be invisible to traditional radar. But the S-400 doesn't use traditional radar. It uses a complex multiband system that picks up stealth aircraft like a flashlight in a dark room. This was confirmed in leaked NSA documents from 2022. American intelligence analysts admitted the S-400 poses a critical threat to fifth-generation aircraft operations. Even American generals have conceded defeat on this one. At a 2023 Air Force symposium, Lieutenant General Timothy Thomas admitted, "We have no reliable counter to the S-400 at present." Picture a bubble 400 kilometers wide covering India's northern border. Inside that bubble, nothing flies without permission. Not American F-35s. Not Chinese J-20s. Nothing. China has the S-400 too. But they only have 2 batteries covering specific regions. India? 6 batteries, strategically positioned to cover the entire northern border with China and the western border with Pakistan. But all these weapons, missiles, satellites, submarines, defense systems, they're all reactive. Weapon number 1 is offensive, devastating, and honestly, it keeps me up at night. Weapon number 1, Agni-V ICBM with MRV technology. There are only 5 countries on Earth with this technology: America, Russia, China, France, and as of 2024, India. MRV stands for Multiple Independently Targetable Reentry Vehicle. Let me translate: 1 missile, 10 separate nuclear warheads, each one hitting a different city. Dr. V.K. Saraswat, the scientist who led the Agni-V program, said something chilling in a 2024 interview. "We built this so India would never be attacked first. Because the cost of attacking us is now civilizational suicide." According to the Bulletin of Atomic Scientists 2024 report, the Agni-V has a confirmed range of 5,000 kilometers, meaning it can hit Beijing, Shanghai, and 8 other major Chinese cities simultaneously from a single launch. Here's why this defeats superpowers. American missile defense systems, THAAD, Aegis, GMD, they're designed to intercept 1 warhead. Maybe 2 if they're lucky. But 10 warheads from a single missile, each one maneuvering independently, each one traveling at 24 times the speed of sound? Impossible to intercept. Here's the dark reality. This weapon exists so it never has to be used. It's pure deterrence. Mutually assured destruction taken to its logical extreme. And India just tested an upgraded version in March 2024, range increased to 8,000 kilometers. That reaches all of China, all of Pakistan, parts of Europe, and the Middle East. The missile launches from a mobile truck, meaning China can't preemptively target it. It flies into space, releases 10 warheads, and each one descends at Mach 24. By the time you detect the re-entry vehicles, they're 30 seconds from impact. There's no stopping it. There's only the hope it never gets fired. If you've ever wondered why major powers suddenly started respecting India's opinion on Ukraine, on Gaza, on trade deals, this is why. When you have weapons like this, no becomes a complete sentence. Closing. Now, does India want to use these weapons? Absolutely not. India has maintained a no-first-use nuclear policy since 1998, meaning they'll only retaliate, never strike first. These weapons aren't about aggression. They're about sovereignty. They're about sitting at the table as an equal when the world's powers make decisions. In a world where China claims Indian territory and America makes demands on trade policy, having these weapons means India can say no and be taken seriously. That submarine captain I mentioned, Captain Varma, he hopes he never has to fire a missile. That DRDO engineer, Dr. Singh, she built the anti-drone system so Indian soldiers come home alive, not to rack up kills. These 6 weapons aren't about conquest. They're about survival. About ensuring a nation of 1.4 billion people has a voice that can't be ignored. So here's what I want to know. Do you think India should have these weapons? Or is the world safer when only Western nations possess them? And be honest, did weapon number 1 surprise you, or did you already know about India's MIRV capability? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you made it this far, you're clearly someone who thinks deeper than surface-level headlines, so let me know, which of these 6 weapons impressed you most? Also, 87% of you watch but aren't subscribed. If this video changed how you see global power dynamics, hit that button so you don't miss what's coming next. Because trust me, what's coming next is even more shocking.